Hi everyone, welcome back to Rachel's Enchanting Cakes. Now for today's tutorial we're going to be turning the Terry's Chocolate Orange into Puppy Love. This is for the Valentine's period, which we will be approaching very soon, and there's going to be more new content added to this channel on a regular basis. Everything you need to know, step by step, excellent for any new beginner baker. Let's make a start. Unwrap a Terry's chocolate orange and place it directly onto some baking paper. Taking some liquid glucose and a brush, simply cover all of the Terry's chocolate orange. This will act like a glue when adding the fondant. Roll out exactly 150 grams of brown fondant and try to keep this in a circular shape. Place this directly over the Terry's chocolate orange, smoothing gently with your hands from the top to the bottom, negotiating the pleats as you go. Using a sharp knife, cut off any excess fondant. I then smooth it out using a flexible smoother. This is not necessary, so do not worry if you do not own one of these, and cut off the rest of the excess fondant. Taking small pieces of white fondant, simply add these directly to the brown. I don't use any edible glue. And then using a cocktail stick, we simply place on there indentations and allow it to all blend together to look like fur. For our puppy's back legs, we use two very simple shapes. So you want to roll out a cone shape with the brown and a round shape in the white. I then simply place an indentation in the end of the back leg using a ball tool. I add the white and then we place it directly onto our Terry's chocolate orange egg. Again, using the cocktail stick to not only place on the paws but also indentations for the fur. Just to add a little bit more detail, I take very small balls of brown fondant, add it to the white and then blend it in using the cocktail stick whilst the fondant is still soft. For our puppy's front legs, I repeat the same process I did for the back legs. However, they want to be a little bit smaller and this time secured into place with a small amount of edible glue. I also adjust the angle slightly. Yours can be placed directly onto the floor if you feel more comfortable, but I've got one lifted slightly more up, and to do that, I just made that particular leg smaller than the other. For his neck, I simply roll out a small piece of brown fondant and stick this directly on top with some edible glue. Now for his head, you need to stick to really simple shapes. So we've got a brown ball, two white balls and an oval white. Make sure the brown ball just fits on top of there nicely. And then you want to simply use some edible glue directly on the face. I'm going to do this at a different angle so that you can see everything. I start by placing a white ball on either side of the base of the brown ball. You're going to need to manipulate this a lot. Use your hands and take your time. The more you do things like this, the easier it becomes. I then add the oval to the center and continue to manipulate with my hands. Using a ball tool, if you have one, this will help with the eyes. I then place indentations where the eyes are going to be. But the main tool used in this whole tutorial, again, is the cocktail stick to blend all of the fur together. I simply stuck this directly to the top using some edible glue. Continue to add indentations, and you'll notice for the nose I used a small piece of black fondant and using my hands simply turned it into a little love heart shape. To add the eyes, keep it simple. Start with a small ball of white, simply place this into the indentation, then add a small ball of black and finally an even smaller ball of white fondant. Roll out some very thin strands of brown fondant and simply attach this directly to the centre of the head using some edible glue for the hair. Again, using simple shapes for the ears and supporting it into place with some spaghetti, which you can add to sugar work. Simply place this directly on there, Shape it with your hands and then again use the cocktail stick. Roll out a sausage shape and heart for the collar. Finally, I added him to a 4-inch round decorated cake drum complete with more hearts. Happy baking, guys, and I'll be back soon with more new, completely free content.